I shouldn't have gone down there. I mean, the rain was just pouring down, a cold, miserable sheet, and the streetlights were bleeding all over the pavement. But it was late, almost 2 in the morning, right? The subway was the only way home. A necessary evil. An evil I was about to regret for eternity.
The second I started down those stairs, the air just changed. It wasn't just cold, it was dead. You know that heavy basement cold that smells like wet concrete and rust? That was it. My own footsteps sounded like cannon shots in the silence, each one echoing back at me way too loud, way too sharp. Even the hum of the lights felt wrong, like some insect buzzing right inside my skull.
And then I got to the bottom and it hit me. I was completely, utterly alone. The ticket booth? Dark. Empty. No security guards anywhere, not a single other person on the platform. Just stillness. This heavy, waiting kind of silence that felt louder than any sound.
My eyes just locked onto this electronic board. It was the only thing moving. The red letters blinked. They glitched. They blinked again. Last train, 142, arriving. I looked down the tunnel, but there was nothing. Just this suffocating black void that felt like it was drinking the light.
Then I felt it. A low rumble, coming up through the soles of my shoes. But it wasn't the roar of a subway. 2 lights appeared way down in the dark, but they were dim, kind of sickly yellow, like old lanterns swinging in the fog. And it wasn't speeding towards me. It was crawling, and it was making almost no sound at all. It slid past me like a ghost ship, slow enough that I could see inside. The cars were full of people, but they were frozen. Not sleeping, frozen. Heads were tilted at these impossible angles, mouths just slightly open, skin all waxy and pale under the filthy windows. They didn't blink, they didn't even seem to be breathing.
But one of them saw me. A woman. Her face was pressed right up against the glass, and her eyes were wide with this ancient terror. I could see her lips move, forming words, just for me. I couldn't hear a thing, but I knew what she was saying. She was begging me. Don't get on.
And then, it was gone. It didn't just go down the tunnel, it vanished. The rumbling stopped, the air went still, and the station was dead silent again. So quiet I could hear my own heart just hammering against my ribs. I turned to run, to get the hell out of there, but something caught my eye. On the far wall, there was this small, rusted sign. I swear to you it wasn't there a minute ago. It was impossible. This station only has 2 platforms. But this one pointed down a dark corridor, and the arrow was next to a single impossible number, 0.
I don't know why I walked toward it. Every single instinct I had was screaming at me to leave, but it was like my feet were moving on their own. The hallway itself felt wrong. The tiles seemed to shift underfoot, and the flickering lights, they made the corridor feel like it was stretching out longer with every step I took. It just ended. At a staircase that didn't lead anywhere I could see. It just went down into this thick, perfect blackness that felt solid. I could feel something pulling me, like an invisible current, dragging me down into the cold. My own breathing was ragged in my ears. Platform 0. The air down here was thick, like syrup, and it tasted like decay. A single, failing light was spitting and buzzing, throwing these jerky shadows over peeling posters for movies that never existed. And right under it, on a single bench, sat a figure. A man in a dark coat, his head bowed like he was praying. I took a step closer, my mouth already open to ask, to say something, anything. And the light died. It didn't flicker out, it just died, plunging me into a darkness so complete, so absolute, I felt like I was drowning in it. I just stood there, frozen, listening to my own panicked breaths in the void. Then, a whisper, not out there in the dark, but inside my head. So close it felt like it was breathing on my soul. You shouldn't have come here.
The lights snapped back on with this violent buzz, and he was gone. The bench was empty, but on the grimy floor, a single wet footprint. Then another. They led from the bench, and they stopped. Oh God, they stopped right behind me.
A sound like tearing metal screamed through the station. It was another train, grinding its way onto the platform, showering the tracks with orange sparks. The front of it was smeared with something thick and black, and the doors, they groaned open with the sound of a tomb.
And inside, it was them. The same passengers, the same wax statues staring forward into nothing. I was starting to get it. This wasn't a place you leave from. My eyes drifted to the front row, to an empty seat. No, wait, not empty. Someone was sitting there, slumped against the window. Pale skin, eyes wide open, staring, lifeless. Oh, no. No, that's me.
And then it all hit me. Not a subway, a car. The rain on the windshield, the blinding glare of headlights swerving into my lane, that horrifying crystal sound of the world shattering into a million pieces.
The echoes, the emptiness, why no one could see me. This was never a subway station, was it? It's a waiting room, a terminal, for the dead. And that train, it wasn't just any train. It was coming for me. That same cold whisper echoed all around me, but this time it was coming from the train itself. Take your seat. You've been expected. The shadows from the open doors stretched across the platform. They weren't just shadows anymore. They were like grasping, beckoning hands.
I tried to scream, but the air just wouldn't come. There's no air in dead lungs. A cold hand clamped around my wrist. I looked down. It was my own hand, pale, lifeless, pulling me from inside the car, pulling me home.
You know, as I was dragged over the edge, my last thought wasn't fear. It was just clarity. There was never a way out. Not from here. The doors sealed shut, and the whole car was plunged into this deep, blood-red light. And as the last train pulled away from Platform Zero, I finally took my seat, wondering with a silent, eternal dread, where does it go?